Hey, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another vid. Well, it's been a long time since I did a video upload, so I need to kind of get used to this and again and get back to, or I should say, get back to a groove. Get back to a groove of things. So, well, I gotta say one thing. I'm sure people already heard about the news about Anthony Joshua and Big Baby Miller's pre-fight ticket sales for Madison Square Garden actually broke records online. So it's off to a very, very, very strong start, which is commendable. It's great for our sport that we respect, particularly for the heavyweight division. Now, I seen a lot of comments, which is pretty, I have to laugh at this, I have to laugh at this too, because I'm seeing people going out saying that, and the Joshua fanboys, not just Joshua fans, but Joshua fanboys, yeah, where the LDBC at? I'm not LDBC, but a lot of people are saying, where are they at? Where are those Wilder fanboys? I thought AJ wasn't not known in America. You see, he is known. I'm like, well, pump your brakes and step back and use your head for a second here. Okay, it's great that the pre-ticket sales are very strong, but you do have to take into account that those tickets, it's very obvious to all of us that those tickets were already bought and paid for by someone involved in Matchroom, and they're being sold on the secondary market here in the States. And guess who's involved in that? StubHub. And yes, they are. I'll post a link down in my description box, and I can tell you they are involved in that fight. As far as pre-ticket sales are concerned, they are heavily involved. And we all know that Eddie Hearn was notorious, and I'm not accusing Eddie Hearn of buying the tickets and, selling them on the secondary market so he can, he can mark them up at a higher price, which pissed off majority of the public in UK, because obviously that's what he was accused of doing. And obviously it was pretty obvious that's what he was doing in a way. And then 0-2 and Wembley had to rein in on that, and pretty much put a halt to StubHub in their scheme of marking up tickets in that region. So apparently, I'm not accusing of anybody, but it does look kind of obvious that this is what's going on here to me. But at the same time, it is good news that this is the pre-sales are there. It looks great. Could it sell out? More likely it can. But the one thing I would say too is that even though if they sell out Madison Square Garden, the ticket revenue is not going to make up for the fight purses. And not only is it not going to make up for the fight purses, it's not going to make up for the percentages they have to pay out the fighters, particularly Joshua and Joshua and Miller. Whatnot. I'm not sure if they're getting a percentage, but I have to assume that they are. And then you have to pay out the production costs, and then the network's got to get their cut. And then you have to pay out, who else? TV right, you have to pay out, not TV rights, I'm sorry. You have to pay out marketing costs and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's going to take more than to sell out this event to make a net profit here. And the one thing I have to also question too is because I'm seeing all these comments flooded with, oh, AJ is more popular than Wilder in America based off this. No, that's not the case. If that's the case, then how come I haven't seen the Povetkin and Joshua numbers yet? It's been over 4 months now. We haven't seen numbers on that. Where were the numbers in the zone results on that? We haven't seen viewership on that. So can somebody please forward that to me? Because the last time I heard, the viewership was around 16 to 21,000. But someone took that off. But I really like to have a concrete answer on the viewership. To see that, I should say. But again, it's still good news either way. It is kind of, rare, I should say, it is pretty unusual, rare for two unknown fighters to have pre-sales numbers like this, to be honest with you. No, it's a good thing, but you do have to question that because of the fact that StubHub is involved in the pre-sales, the pre-sales of tickets for this fight. So anyhow, let me know what your thoughts about this. Do you think it's a good thing that the pre-sales are good for this for the heavyweight division, particularly for Joshua and Miller? Or do you think that there's something going on with the pre-sale ticket prices? Now, I'm not trying to concoct no conspiracy theory, but I'm just looking at it from an objective point of view. Trust me, if this was a Wilder Fury thing, I would have looked at that in an objective view as well. I would have. So, but to be fair, it is worth pointing out that StubHub was used towards the end to kind of spike the ticket sales for that fight. I have to admit that they were. And also, it's also worth to point out that Wilder Fury did start off very strong as well in a similar fashion, but it did die down towards, almost towards the end of the, to the time the fight was coming around. So that's when StubHub came in. So, so I have to point that out. But let me know what your thoughts about this. I'm out.